The Roaring Twenties felt like a new era for America. Cities soared, jazz filled the air, and optimism was everywhere. Skyscrapers rose, automobiles transformed daily life, and radios connected the nation. The economy boomed, fueled by a culture of buying on credit and the promise of prosperity for all. Factories churned out cars and appliances, and advertising promised happiness with every purchase. But beneath the glitter, trouble brewed. Farmers struggled as crop prices collapsed, and many fell deep into debt. Wealth was concentrated in the hands of a few, making the prosperity fragile. The stock market became a national obsession, with ordinary people investing their savings, and often borrowing to buy stocks. Buying on margin meant big risks. If prices fell, investors could lose everything and still owe money. The market swelled into a bubble, inflated by hope and easy credit. Few noticed the cracks forming beneath the surface. The good times seemed endless, but the foundation was shaky. The divide between city wealth and rural hardship grew. The nation's confidence masked deep economic imbalances. The party was dazzling, but the warning signs were there for those who looked. The stage was set for a dramatic fall. The Roaring Twenties would soon give way to a decade of hardship. The storm was coming, and few were prepared. In autumn 1929, the stock market's wild ride turned ominous. Prices dipped, recovered, then dipped again. Unease spread, but most ignored the warnings. Factories had overproduced, and big investors quietly sold off stocks. On October 24th, panic hit Wall Street. Bankers tried to stop the crash, but fear ran too deep. President Hoover insisted the economy was sound, but confidence was shattered. Black Tuesday, October 29th, unleashed chaos. A tidal wave of selling, no buyers, and prices collapsed. 16 million shares traded. Fortunes vanished in hours. Ticker tape machines lagged behind, leaving investors in the dark. Millionaires became penniless by afternoon. Crowds gathered in stunned silence. The crash was more than financial. It destroyed the nation's optimism. The belief in endless prosperity evaporated overnight. The Roaring Twenties ended in a single devastating day. The crash rippled through every corner of society. Dreams were shattered, and the future looked bleak. The Great Party was over. America faced a long, painful reckoning. The crash marked the start of a new, harsher era. The nation braced for the unknown. The hangover from the party would last for years. The world would never be the same. The stock market crash triggered a chain reaction. Banks failed, savings vanished, and panic spread. Bank runs swept the country as people rushed to withdraw their money, only to find the doors locked. With no government insurance, millions lost everything. Businesses collapsed, factories closed, and unemployment soared to 25%. Families lost homes and cities filled with breadlines. Long queues for a simple meal. On the Great Plains, drought and overfarming created the Dust Bowl. Black blizzards drove families from their land. The crisis was everywhere, in city streets, on abandoned farms, and in empty factories. Trust in the financial system was shattered. The American dream turned into a daily struggle for survival. Communities banded together, but the suffering was immense. The Depression's reach was relentless. Hope faded as hardship deepened. The nation searched for answers. The old ways had failed. America faced its greatest test. The struggle for survival defined a generation. The country was desperate for change. The Great Depression quickly spread beyond America's borders. U.S. banks demanded repayment from Europe, crippling economies already weakened by war. The collapse of Austrian banks triggered panic across the continent. The Smoot-Hawley Tariff backfired. Global trade collapsed as countries retaliated. Germany's fragile economy unraveled, fueling anger and the rise of extremist parties like the Nazis. Britain's north suffered mass unemployment. Latin America's exports crashed. Japan's military pushed for expansion. The Depression's reach was worldwide, exposing the dangers of economic isolation. Desperation led to political upheaval and new threats. The world's economies were more connected and vulnerable than ever. The crisis set the stage for global conflict. The lessons of interdependence would shape the future. By 1932, America demanded new leadership. Franklin D. Roosevelt answered with hope and bold action. FDR's New Deal launched a wave of government programs to provide relief, recovery, and reform. Banks were stabilized, jobs created through public works, and direct aid given to the needy. The Civilian Conservation Corps and Public Works Administration put millions to work. The Tennessee Valley Authority brought electricity and hope to the rural South. Social Security was born, creating a safety net for the vulnerable. The New Deal didn't end the Depression, but it restored faith in democracy and government. Other nations took different paths. Some turned to dictatorship and rearmament. Roosevelt's approach offered a middle way, saving capitalism through reform, not revolution. The New Deal's legacy would last for generations. America began to rebuild, one step at a time. The seeds of recovery were planted. The New Deal eased suffering but couldn't fully revive the economy. Unemployment remained high and recovery was slow. The real turning point came with World War II. As war loomed, U.S. factories ramped up production for defense. After Pearl Harbor, America mobilized on a massive scale. Factories ran around the clock, creating jobs and ending unemployment. Women and minorities joined the workforce in record numbers. Farmers prospered as they fed the nation and its allies. War spending finally pulled America out of the Depression. The nation emerged as an economic powerhouse. The hardships of the 1930s gave way to hope and opportunity. The Depression ended, but its lessons endured. America was forever changed. The Great Depression and World War II reshaped America and the world. People now expected government to protect the economy and provide a safety net. New Deal reforms like Social Security and bank insurance became permanent. International cooperation grew. Institutions like the IMF and World Bank were created. Free trade replaced protectionism, aiming to prevent future crises. The era taught hard lessons about greed, community, and compassion. The generation that endured the Depression shaped a new world. Their resilience and reforms still guide us today. The story of the Great Depression remains a powerful lesson for all.